Welcome to Variant Edition, your source for comic book news and culture. I'm Lewis. It's Tuesday, May 6, 2008, and we're back from our little hiatus. We're back with all the info that you'll need to step into your comic book shop this Wednesday. And we'll get started the way we usually do, with comics. After the rundown, I'll be back with our pick of the week. It's a big week with a lot of big books. But what do we think is the pick of the week? Well, it wasn't easy. And until we actually hold it in our hands, we still kind of doubt it's coming out. Action Comics Annual number 11 should finally wrap up last year's Last Son storyline. Written by Jeff Johns and Superman the Movie director Richard Donner, this oversized conclusion features art and covered by Adam I'm Not That Late Kubert. Let's hope this story holds up in spite of the ridiculous wait.
Hi, I'm Nick, and here are your headlines for Tuesday, May 6th, 2008. There's been quite a bit going on in the world of comics in the last month, so let's start with the biggest, the New York Comic Con. Held the weekend of April 18th, con organizers have reported that attendance exceeded last year's numbers by 15,000 to soar to 64,000 attendees. Very good news for the con, which saw just about every aspect improve over last year, with more space, a better layout, and an increase in programming. But it was the programming that got it into trouble this year. Saturday was the big day for programming, and at about 4:30, the hallway leading to the panel rooms had been closed. We were down there right before it was closed, and trust me, it was a mass of humanity. It seems they overlooked the fact that they had some of the most anticipated panels going on at pretty much the same time, so there was quite the crush of congoers vying for a seat. We trust con organizers to learn from this and to improve for next year's show, which, by the way, moves back to February. Another big bit of news happened right around the time of the con. The case against Gordon Lee, the Rome, Georgia retailer who was on trial for obscenity charges after mistakenly handing a minor a free comic that contained male frontal nudity, was dismissed. The Comic Book Legal Defense Fund Executive Director Charles Brownstein called this a victory for Gordon and a victory for comics, adding that, for more than 3 years, the comics world has stood behind Gordon's innocence, and now we are vindicated. After years of trials and over $100,000 in defense funds, the case was thrown out in exchange for a written apology, which, by the way, was rejected by the prosecution when this mess began. That's our system at work, friends. Okay, now for some comic news. The Eisner voting is now open. If you are an eligible voter, go to EisnerVote.com and make your voice heard. Mike Mignola has been announced as a returning guest to the Baltimore Comic-Con, which will be held September 27th and 28th. And who's the guest of honor? None other than Swamp Thing co-creator Bernie Wrightson. For a full guest list, check out the Baltimore Comic-Con website. DC Universe Zero sold out roughly a day after release last week. Expect a reprint to hit May 28th, but expect to pay double for the second print. The price has been increased to $1. Marvel announced that they will be adapting Orson Scott Card's award-winning novel series Ender's Game. The series will be published through Marvel's best-selling authors line. The first limited series installment, Ender's Game, will be adapted by comic book and animation writer Chris Yost, drawn by Pascal Ferry, and overseen by Card himself. This highly anticipated project debuts in comic stores in the fall. Now, everyone in the world knows that Iron Man opened last Friday, so here's Eddie to fill us in on how well it did at the box office.
Thanks, Nick. Iron Man opened very strong. Being Marvel's first self-produced film, there was a lot riding on how well it performed. In the weeks leading up to the release, Marvel released a steady stream of trailers and images online and worked with partners such as Audi, LG, and Burger King to fully prepare us for an Iron Man onslaught. The film opened worldwide starting last Wednesday, and according to Box Office Mojo, Old Shellhead beat expectations and grossed $102 million domestically and over $95 million around the world. The total as of Monday, $197.6 million. Considering that the production budget is estimated to be $140 million, that is a very strong opening. And what is Marvel going to do to follow up? We've got The Hulk later this summer, the sequel to Iron Man, and a Matthew Vaughn directed Thor in 2010. With 2 Avengers-themed movies following in 2011, Captain America and the Avengers, and on the small screen expect Wolverine and the X-Men, Iron Man, Armored Adventures, Hulk Gamma Corps, and Superhero Squad to all premiere in 2009. Oh, and a few DVDs as well. Next Avengers, Hulkverse, Thor, Son of Asgard, and Planet Hulk. Looks like Marvel has a lot in production. Let's hope that they can build on the success of Iron Man. But it's not all Iron Man. If you haven't yet, go check out the new Hulk trailer and the incredible new Dark Knight trailer. But don't expect any news soon on the troubled Justice League movie. Producer Joel Silver told Chud.com that the film has been tabled and will not see any movement forward in the near future. He also told Sci-Fi Wire pretty much the same about Wonder Woman. Alright, but what about comics on the small screen? Smallville will be returning for the 8th season in the fall, but Michael Rosenbaum won't be returning as Lex. Expect him to be replaced by a female villain in Doomsday. And finally, ABC Family will premiere The Middleman based on the Viper comic series on June 16th. Expect the 13-episode series to run through the summer. I'll be back next week with more TV and movie news. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Eddie. Wrapping up, we've seen some old comics in the news recently. First, there was a report that a 9.0 graded copy of Action Comics #1 was on the auction block for $1.1 million. Then just last week, news that all of the original art from Amazing Fantasy #15, featuring the first appearance of Spider-Man, was donated to the Library of Congress. 24 pages of priceless art, including the Stan Lee and Steve Ditko Spider-Man origin, now belong to all us Americans. The Prints and Photographs Reading Room will have digital reference copies on display, while those interested can request an appointment to see the originals. Well, that's it for the news. I'll be back later in the week with some reviews.
Alright guys, here you go, your first looks for this week with Mike here, with myself, giving you some first looks at the books that have come out this week and what you should pick up and what you shouldn't pick up, and I don't know, decide for yourself. Here we got Moon Knight issue 18. Last we left Mark Spector, Iron Man's knocking at the door, wondering how the hell he got a registration card, and Mark's just like, oh, I don't know, I just talked to the guy and he gave me one. Meanwhile, he's getting framed for some murders, and it all comes to a big halt and closing into this last issue right here. Or no, this is the issue before the last issue, because he starts fighting one of his old nemesis from the 80s. So that's going to be really good. A lot of nice splash pages. A lot to look forward to. What did you read, Mike?
I took a look at the Young X-Men, which is a great X-team. So great,
Really?
in fact, they lost their training exercise, and they get sent on a real mission, and they lose.
Oh,
They go out to capture Magma and the Indian chick who doesn't, Native American chick who doesn't have her powers anymore, and they lose. Powers versus no powers, and they lose. And it's an X book.
It's a lack of experience.
I really don't know what to tell you about this book other than the fact that they lost horribly, and the team is horrible. You read Avengers Invaders.
Yes, the big anticipated crossover book, 12 issues. Very, very rare thing you see these days, 12-issue maxi book. Here we have the Invaders from 1940s coming into current Marvel continuity. Let's bear that in mind. So there's a lot up for grabs. Steve Rogers might be coming back as Captain America, Bucky Barnes, all that stuff. A lot of continuity issues up for grabs right here. Really let down by the artwork. I mean, the pencils before the coloring look really good. I guess they just opt that out of the inking, and it's just a big letdown because like the covers Alex Ross, and you open it up, it's like garbage, and it's like, do I want to spend the money on this book now? And it's like, it sucks, but I don't know. What about you?
Brave New Day, The Amazing Spider-Man.
Brave New Day or Brand New Day?
Brand New Day.
Okay.
See, I see Brave New Day because I haven't picked up a single one of these comics since the whole devil deal, with the whole Aunt May thing.
The magic, yeah.
But, apparently there's some kind of villain named Freak who every time you kill him, he then builds immunity to that.
Oh, yeah.
So they burn him, now he's fireproof. You
Evolving,
shot him,
yeah.
and now he's bulletproof. And then they use this quick-acting lime, and now he's rust-free. It's,
Sounds like a cleaning agent.
that's a plumber joke right there. But yeah, so the Amazing Spider-Man, Doc Connors almost becomes the Lizard because he gets stressed out.
No.
I don't know what's going on with Spider-Man these days. There's
It's kind of like the cartoon where it's just...
Brand New Day, I guess.
Yeah.
Brand New Day. I don't know what to say about Brand New Day right now. So I'm just going to keep on reading it and we'll see where it goes. But you took a look at the 87 bazillion-year-old Cable.
Yes, the very oddly illustrated Cable. Cable issue 3. Last issue we saw Cable about to get a giant truck dropped on him. Baby in arms. And he somehow manifests some kind of shield over his body and deflects it. And it's just... This book is getting odder and odder by the second, where Bishop's plan kind of backfires and he gets captured and beaten up and treated like, an outcast because there's no mutants in that future. And a new time traveler shows up at the end. It looks like another variation of Cable. Somebody else in the future has some kind of, dibs, something in it for him with the baby. I don't know yet. I'm just trying to keep it together because I'm really disoriented by the art, so I'd stay close to a toilet bowl while I'm reading this. So, I don't know.
So you're saying the artwork makes you want to vomit?
Yeah, there you go. It's kind of like morning sickness.
The artwork makes him want to vomit.
Yeah. It's really just disorienting. But
It's like that Wonder Woman comic, the Warriors of whatever. That comic made me want to vomit.
Oh, Amazon's Attack, yeah.
Amazon's
pretty
Attack,
upset
that's
about
it.
that.
Yeah, it made me want to vomit.
Yeah.
Shame on you, DC! Alright, that's it for Brand Edition Tuesday this week. But before we go, I gotta... So, did you... Obadiah Stane really struck a chord?
I figured,
Locks of Love?
Jeff Bridges could pull it off. I figured I could. What the hell? It's summertime. It's getting hot. Plus, it makes me look
to these and other changes on Brand Edition.
It makes me look more like Dr. Venture, so why not?
All right, Rusty.
All right, well, back to business. We'll have our con coverage up this weekend, and we'll have a look at what we saw and what we experienced at that con.
I'm just not going to buy
But before that, expect our regular full-length variant edition episode.
I can't buy you a brush for Christmas now. Then about once a week after, we'll be premiering full-length interviews with creators that we were able to talk to, both at the New York Comic Con and a few others that we haven't released yet. Most of them have hair.
And some of them didn't. And we did talk to a lot of people. But now, it's time to go.
And remember that you can find all the various ways that you can watch us at VariantEdition.com, but you can't find Nick's hair there.
Nope. We got links on our site that are so slick, so operational, to iTunes, YouTube, VO, a really cool high-res feed from Blip TV, or the broadcast quality. It's like Pinot video from Views.
It's so clear, it's more shiny than your head. That didn't make any sense, but I'm going to roll with it anyway. As usual, before we go, we'd also like to thank Classic Comics, our host for this and just about every episode.
Yep, Classic Comics of Rahway, New Jersey is your friendly neighborhood comic shop, but is also the jealous, possessive type. So if you go to another shop, you're kind of screwed.
Check out ClassicComics.com for more information about the shop, including how you can save 20% on your comics every week and a new haircut.
Yep. Well, like they say, Mike, hair today, gone tomorrow. We'll see you next week.
Oh, God.
We are so cheese. So cheese.
So bad.
What's wrong with it with the comic thing? Why not?
It went in the garbage. Where else do you think it went?
Locks of Love.
It was nothing.